Okay, hi everyone. So, yeah, before we get started, I just want to mention, so today we have Chad Charles here, and I believe he is starting at 2:30. So it looks like there's just a rest period before that. So yeah, Chad should be here. And yeah, so this is once again like a real opportunity to purify the deep samskaras, to just allow everything to come up, and yeah, we'll be giving more of a preamble before Chad does his thing, but essentially we're I think going to create breakout rooms if there's anything that comes up for people where it is an overwhelm, then we'll be standing by to connect one-on-one at that time as well. And yeah, I think is there a message here? Just one second. Yeah, so Tayama, yeah, if people got missed previously, then let's talk to them first. And yeah, I think why don't we go ahead? Are you ready to go?
Great. Sissy.
Hi, and hi, Dan. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. This is the second time I'm here, and I just want to give a short background to my question. 2 years ago, I was in a very stressful place in life, so I had some heart issues due to the stressful situation. My heart is healthy, but when I stress, my heart is racing, and that is very scary for little me. So now this retreat and the other one, the energy that is building up causes stress in my body. And I feel my heart is starting to race when I'm trying to sleep and going to sleep. So I wonder if you have any suggestion how to do with this energy that causes stress. Usually I meditate to be calm, but that is not, that is what I do now.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a good question, and I always kind of come back to that middle way. So the energy, to me, the energy is it's our life force, it's our evolutionary energy. So that energy itself is healing. It's a a rewiring process, but sometimes it's like the existing pipes are maybe there's more energy going through them than normal, so that feels like the stress. It's like a stress on the existing wiring. So with something like that, I would say, just take I would take more care, to just find that balance, not overwhelm the system. If the heart is racing, it feels like there is a stress on the system, then that's I would back off a little bit. Just relax, and really that is the practice, is sort of relaxing into just being as well. But sometimes, sitting for these long periods of time, there is a building up of energy. There is an intentionality there that creates that sort of added stress on the system. So yeah, I would just maybe do the meditation lying down or something like that, or just yeah, not push it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sure. Durs.
Oh, hi. Just a second. Thank you, Dan, and your team for this wonderful retreat. It's so well together. I feel uncomfortable speaking in public, but I'm going to try to be present. So I can convey what I need to convey. Everything was going real well up until yesterday. I was having some really good insights, and that feeling that I had things very clear. But then all of a sudden there was this confusion about the witness. Are there two witnesses? One, the higher self witness, and the mind witness. Got very confused and quite desperate, because it seemed that everything that I had learned so far was not clear anymore. So what I came up later is, okay, let's say there is confusion. Something is aware of the confusion. I became aware of this confusion. This I would say it's the higher self I is aware. But then, without any, as soon as the awareness of the confusion is there, it seems that the ego takes over. Then it's another type of witness that takes over, that wants to clarify this. It starts to immediately to seek for a solution, and that I feel. And then the interesting part is that I think I had never noticed. And while search started, I'm thinking that it's the higher self trying to figure out, and of course it's not. So so that's what I wanted to confirm with you, because it's so swift, aware of confusion, and immediately there is jumping into, what can I do?
Yeah. That's you described it really well. That confusion that comes up, we talked about the don't know mind, so that confusion is the perfect state to be in. When the mind is confused, if we can allow that confusion to be just as it is, then the mind, that all it means is the mind doesn't know what to do, and then it's scrambling. Then from what it sounds like, you came to that awareness, and then the mind scrambles. It's like it wants to control, it wants to do something in that moment. So now, the game is to allow everything to be as it is. Even allow the mind to be exactly as it is, but see what it's doing, and recognize that you're not the mind. And that's it, and the mind eventually will cease in its scrambling. If we can really make it conscious, really see what it's doing, and and not resist it either, just let it be exactly as it is, because it's only the mind that wants to, get rid of the mind or resist the mind, and that goes on forever, so you're seeing it, you're seeing what's happening now, you're seeing the core functionality of that mind, where it's trying to control. The moment you show up, it's like that mind is like, what do I do? How do I deal with this? And it's confused, and that's perfect. It needs to be confused. It needs to go through this letting go process.
Rufina. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
With the confusion. I just sit with the confusion.
Yeah, just allow the confusion. When we call it confusion, it seems kind of negative, but if you call it a don't know mind, a not knowing mind, just an open mind, that it's just here, and it's actually that state of just having an open mind. Krishnamurti said once that to be just present, just here, without knowing, without evaluating, is the highest intelligence. Because we're not filtering through the past. We're not through, that little knowing mind. We can't really find anything new if we're just operating through that mind. So to just be here, allowing what is, without evaluating, is the highest intelligence. It's the way to see clearly.
Thank you. That was very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Rufina.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
You can. Yes, thank you.
Hi, I guess it's still good morning. I will try to sound not decent. The day before yesterday, I have a great breakdown during diet, and I don't know. My partner thought it's a struggle, but it wasn't actually. And I typically wouldn't share it, but something actually happened. And today you play this video, and it's accidentally just showed up on my YouTube, whatever thing. And before falling asleep, covered on both sides with my kids, I watched it, and something, maybe it's a little thing, maybe it's a big thing, but while watching it, I looked up at the ceiling and there was nothing. There was nothing knowing that it's a ceiling. I looked at the curtains. I see the curtains, but there was no whatsoever any mental activity. And there was no one to be surprised about that at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, just 20 minutes ago, sitting in meditation and knowing that feeling already, whatever the mental activity is happening, it's all I, as if the sense of I by itself is mental.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's what the Atma Vichara is. I don't want to put a name on it, but just as if observer and witness itself is mental.
Yeah, when the I thought drops away, which is just the operation of that 5 skandhas, then what we're left, what remains, and that's you.
But it's not me, but I
Yeah,
cannot call it me though.
yeah, it's not a thing. It just is. Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess diet is useful.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, and that's it. So we when the mind drops away, then we have these, in self-inquiry world we call it direct experiences. So you saw the ceiling without the label of the ceiling. It just is. It's incredible to, when we see a tree and we let go of any concept of a tree, or the sky or a bird, it becomes absolutely new, and there's a direct experience of that is, and it's.
Yes, I've heard so many times about that, of course. And
Mhm, mhm,
I myself been through many, many ayahuasca retreats and bufo
mhm.
and all that. And actually be that is different than hear about that.
Yeah,
Like to have um yes, I just wanted to share because I guess it's important for people here to know what's happening,
yeah, yeah.
progress or less, whatever.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and those direct experiences, they come and go, but the one, not the I thought, but that, whatever that is, that remains. That one awareness remains, when the I thought drops away.
No, it's interesting because thinking that so many practices, so many years, though I look young, but I'm not. It's there is always I want to call myself whatever, creation, emptiness, but it's all mental, all of it.
Yeah.
Whatever the I is mental,
Mhm.
anything at all, anything.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Beautiful.
Anna.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. Um, mm, I am living a very stressful life because of a change of work 1 year ago. A change that wasn't wanted by me, but there was an reorganized company. So I have depression issues, and this change led to a worsening of my symptoms. But now I am trying successfully to manage the situation, and I wanted to ask, knowing that is a naive question, how can I keep some of the calmness, tranquility, and benefit of this experience, these days, into my daily life? I have the fear that I will lose everything on Monday when I go back to work.
Mhm.
For example, my boss is a manipulating one, and this triggers me, makes me feel very, very, very sad. But I have learned how to manage it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I have learned to build my boundaries and let him to to respect them.
Yeah.
I have the fear that I will go back into stress and discomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. So what we're learning. So first of all, yeah. So you know, the peace that we realize here, comes not from, any state or anything that we're producing here, but it comes from really recognizing the truth of who we are. In these dyads, like life is a dyad, literally. Life is, when we go back into life now, we have an intention, just like we do in the dyads. We intend to be our authentic selves, to be free. So we go back into life, and then we can start to observe what comes up, in the mind and body as we go back into life, into these different situations, and instead of now we have these tools where we can start to watch the mind. We can start to feel the sensations as they start to trigger the habit patterns in the mind. And all of these things create a sort of space. The more we do them, the more we bring them into life. Rather than just reacting to life, now we can observe and feel sensation. We can start to watch the habit pattern of the mind. And so, like, for me, the fundamental delusion of the mind is, when and this comes up for everyone. The mind says, how do I hold this? How do I hold this peace? And as soon as it tries to do that, it's lost, because that holding is the resistance. The holding is the habit pattern of the mind. So everybody says, how do I integrate this into life? Well, who's asking? That's the little mind. It's like, how do I mediate this? But you already are. That's the delusion of the mind, is that it has to mediate or do something in order for you to be you, in order for you to have that peace. Yeah, so just recognizing that, is the end of seeking. If you really see what that mind is doing, and you can, stop believing your thoughts, stop believing that, that something has to happen in order to be free, then that seeking can just drop, and that's a permanent thing. That's a real thing. Once you get that, you're not going to start seeking again. That little seeker is not going to start up again once it's really seen, once it's truly made conscious.
So you're telling me that to observe my sensation, my feelings before reacting.
Yeah, all of these things are tools, which help to sort of loosen the bonds within the self structure. But the biggest insight is to just recognize that delusion of the mind, is that it has to do something. So all of these things, we're working at it from two ends. We're using these techniques, and kind of making the self structure more permeable, but at the same time recognizing that nothing has to happen, for you to be free. The truth is, awareness was never in prison. So it's both. It's the always being Buddha, always becoming Buddha. It's the paradox is, as soon as we believe something that has to happen in order to be free, then we go down that path of seeking and doing.
I think it will be hard, but thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and just, the tools that we have here, the more we explore, the more we make this self structure more permeable, the easier it gets. when I look back at the Dan character at the beginning, it was, many years of going back, and like I would go to a retreat like this, and I'd come back into life, and everything's good, and I felt peaceful, and then bit by bit, it felt like I was losing it. I would fall off the wagon. Then I go back, do another retreat, fall off the wagon. That went on, for years. It went for years, and then something eventually. Something gave where there was a shift where it got easier, and instead of that effort, it's like meditation, that stillness started to find me rather than me searching for the stillness. But it's a process, and I didn't have that tool or I didn't have the understanding of who I was at that time. When we really, with these self-inquiry tools, we can really see the seeking pattern of the mind and understand that is the main source of suffering. Just that resistance to what is.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
James.
Hi, James.
Hi, there was something going on. I don't know what was going on. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Dan, for doing this. I was here in January too.
Yes.
So
I remember you. Yeah.
it's been a little struggle this time for me. But this is a strange thing that's going on right now, and I don't know if it means anything or not. It's like I listened to the music last night, went to sleep. And I had to get up and go to the bathroom, and I was having it like a dream. But I go to the bathroom, and the dream is still going on in full color, like a movie. It's just like, wow. And then I come back and I try to go to sleep, and it's still going on. And I'm sitting here praying. I'm doing everything I can to try to go back to sleep, being with God and everything. And then I finally go back to sleep, and then I wake up again, and then the same thing happens again. It's like I'm awake. I'm physically awake,
Yeah.
but yet the dream is there, and it's in full color, and there's conversations. There's many people there.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if it means anything.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
little ego just trying to confuse me, or
Yeah. So you said, I'm awake. So who is that I that is awake?
the self?
Yeah. So you're watching the thoughts. You're watching the dream, right? You're watching the
Yeah.
thoughts. Yeah. Yeah. So that, to me, like that's an important stage on the path where we can look directly at our thoughts. Whether it's in the dream state or this external world state. If you can look directly at the thoughts, knowing who you are, knowing you're not the thoughts, knowing you're awake, that's awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I did spiritism for a while, and I think that happened one time, and I took it to them, and they were like all excited about it. I didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So when the thoughts come up, if you can look at them as they're forming, as the dream is unfolding, then you're not caught in it. You're not believing the thoughts. It's like you're watching a show, right? So to recognize that I that is just awake, just aware, you're free from the show. You're not hooked in. Yeah. So yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you very much.
Yeah. So now take it into the rest of life, like that, what you experience there in looking directly at that dream. Now look at this dream, the external world in exactly the same way.
Like it's just an illusion because I was trying to get rid of it. I, I wanted it to go away.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like the world isn't going to go away. The world is as it is. But as soon as you know it's a dream, then it isn't a problem anymore. If you know who you are.
It's just the illusion. So the
Yeah,
dream's the illusion. Yeah, it's all the
yeah,
illusion.
yeah, and it's what is, right? Like to me, I don't say it's real or illusion. It's just what is. To me, the biggest illusion is that I'm a character in that show. That's the illusion. But the show goes on, regardless of whether you think you're the character or not. So after awakening, chop wood, carry water, the show goes on. So it's to me real, not real. These are just concepts. But it's they in Zen they call it the great reality. Um, so there is this human experience. So it continues on. It's just the question of are we looking at it awake, or are we lost in the character?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Razi.
Hi, Razi.
Hi, trying to mute, sorry. Um, I don't know what question to ask. When you mentioned about the 20 years, what Charles Berner mentioned about Victoria State, what came up was, how can I develop the will, to strengthen it, to have a fire within, to really take this practice with more intensity? I see there's one part of mind that takes things more casually, like, oh, there's a meditation. So I'll like this morning, sitting, meditating, and then I noticed thought came in, oh, okay, it's maybe I should lay down. And that thought, so I was thinking I'm being equanimous with what's arising, but I think I'm getting tricked into versus just sitting. And this other part of where the mind, like, okay, it's 1 hour strong determination, I have to sit, and then the mind knows it, I have to sit, and it sits with the conditions that I'm trying to tell it. So I'm trying to see how can I be more concentrated and strengthen my will on a regular basis on this path and not get hooked. And because I think I'm not. Yeah, and as I'm speaking, I can tell now is the character speaking. I'm not doing my best. I want to strive. I want to work harder. That thing, I can now at least see it as I'm talking to you. So I don't know between the two things to try to make more effort and just to be aware that no effort is needed. I don't know if you can speak to that, please.
Yeah, you pretty much answered exactly what I would answer. Yeah, I like that. When Charles Berner says, like the Enlightenment project is a 21-year project. You know, the thing is, so the way I always distinguish between awakening and enlightenment. So awakening is always now. And it can happen. It doesn't matter what the conditions are in the self structure. So liberation is always possible now, and nothing has to happen. There's no lotus or development process needed for that. But the thing is to stay awake and to experience the full expression of human possibility, which is different for each person. Like it is your life, like that unfolding of the lotus, the 21 years. that is your life. It's the exploration of life that creates all of that wiring, right? So we don't want to jump over that, you know, we don't want to force the you know, just go for the bloom and you know, the rest of it we forget about. It's not about reaching a goal in that sense. You know, it's literally just an organic unfolding of life, and it's the exploration and following our bliss and energy that makes that possible. You know, Alan Watts always says, you know, it's a musical thing, you know, so like, you know, the purpose of a dance, you know, is not to get to the end, you know, you don't want to just get to the end part. It's like the purpose is to dance the dance.
Because I was separating the two things, this enlightenment path and then the rest of my life. Right? And so now I see it's follow the I'm not a musician, but follow the music, what feels good, what feels right, be in the rhythm of life. That's what you're
Yeah,
saying. And
yeah.
not to make the path a separate thing, but
Mhm.
life is the path, and then just moment to moment be with it as it's coming up.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, and then, you know, there are points on the path where we look back and we see where we are and we see that life is in bloom or whatever has happened or the bloom has passed or, you know, so there are all these stages, but at each moment, you know, each now, you know, which is all there is, you know, the full life is possible, you know, that it's like the universe in the grain of sand. You know, when we're fully awake, it's all, you know, the beauty is in the mundane, you know, the simple just beingness of every moment. You know, so we,
So I was thinking I'm going to change my whole life, my work, the people. I won't talk to them anymore. I'll just sit here and do vipassana and meditate and do all of this. That's what was going through my mind,
Mhm,
thinking that's what's required. But
mhm.
you're saying that's not required per se.
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. Like there are, you know, the energy that's alive when life moves through each being, the path will sort of unfold with that energy. So, you know, so there are people like Ramana Maharshi. For him, you know, life, the full bloom for him, the full expression of his life was to just sit somewhere and just kind of be in silence, you know, in his loincloth, you know, or the yogis sometimes just go into the cave and that's the path. It's the full bloom for that being. But for other people, a full bloom might be having a family, you know. A full bloom
Right.
might be writing a book or whatever it is. So what does life want to live through you, you know?
I can sense it. I thank you for pointing it out. I can sense it's more of a feeling, letting things be versus the thinking mind trying to plan. And I can see it as you're talking to me.
Mhm.
Thanks for pointing it out that it's not sitting here planning the rest of my life,
Mhm.
being here, knowing who I am, and then just being with whatever's arising and not think too far out.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I don't know, you know, where, you know, next year what my life is going to bring or you know, what's going to unfold. And
Yeah.
you know, the
It
truth
doesn't even
is, yeah, like this year was a really interesting year because I found you know, it didn't feel right to you know, with the meditation center and all of that, to put a template into place, you know, because I'd had very structured retreats for many years and you know, for me the not knowing was exciting, you know, when I didn't put that template in place, and it's been more of like a feeling out of what's unfolding this year, and it's been awesome. I couldn't have predicted all the stuff, you know, the creative energies and
beautiful.
synergies. Yeah, so not knowing is you know, the little mind wants to, you know, do the project and figure it all out, but I to me it's more like the exploration is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I feel so light, Dan. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
Joseph,
Thank you, Tayuma. And just wanted to say, Dan, thank you again to you and your team. You guys do an amazing job, and this is a really special experience every time. So thank you.
Mhm.
Um, my question is about the blooming, actually. It's about the reconciliation of desire. I understand like the Buddhist teachings that desire, is a trap. You're either grasping at something or pushing something away.
Mhm.
But I struggle to reconcile that with like, what if I feel like being with someone? Or what if I feel like going somewhere? Or what if I feel like tasting something? How do I discern what is appropriate to pursue?
Mhm.
That's pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's the question. So, if so it comes down to the I thought, so, whatever it is in life that's showing up, whether it's a job or relationships or, um, you know, anything, what we're really going for here is recognizing when that I thought is involved. So it's not that that we don't desire. It's like who is desiring. So it's like for me the it's like that the law of attraction. The law of attraction works, in the way that it's presented. But, we like the law of attraction is usually about egoic desire, like most people who engage with it, it's like I want to manifest, whatever, a relationship, a car, or, so we put attention, on something, and that's where energy flows. And that's the game that we're in, that's how it works. But the thing is, if we believe we are that character, the character with those preferences and those desires, then we get whatever the object is, but it's not satisfying because it's external. So there's really no peace until we know who we are. So and then once you know who you are, then it's all wonderful. Then it's like you can have things, but if you don't have things, then you don't suffer either. But whatever comes, it's like it's you fully experience it. It's fully. So the desire is still there, because like the desire is life itself. Life itself is energy and aliveness, and it's not about not feeling life, but the contraction is when it's my desire and I have to have it, and if I don't get it, then I'm disappointed. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I mean, if say we haven't fully discerned who we are yet, like life is about pursuing things and the journey of pursuit in many ways. So it's to me it's still complicated to figure out, what is worth our time, or maybe it's just tempering our mindset in that pursuit to not being attached to the outcome. Maybe that's kind of what I'm grasping from this.
Yeah, yeah, like that's it. So I always go back to what Joseph Campbell says. Life is about following your bliss. Following that whatever brings aliveness and energy in life. So what excites you, and go in that direction. But know the truth, of who you are, and if your happiness is contingent on that external thing, then there will be suffering. But if your happiness flows from um, knowing the truth of who you are, the peace of knowing the self, then all of that is just a beautiful dance. It's all of that, um, you know, manifesting and life experience is just sort of like a blessing that happens, but it's not it's not necessary for your happiness.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Jonas.
Hi, Jonas.
Hey everybody. Um, oof, my heart is pumping like it's want to jump out of my chest.
I can't tell if you're frozen or what's happening. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm just, I don't have a question. I just felt that fear when I thought about raising the hand. So
Mm,
I felt like it was the right thing to do.
beautiful.
Um,
That's awesome. Yeah.
my, like, my mind has planned 1,000 things while waiting of what it's gonna say, and even that right now that it's saying it's kind of planned.
Mhm. Yeah, that's, you know what? That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. You know, if we can just be in the stillness and the thoughts aren't interrupting that, that's what's better.
Yeah, it feels like I finally trust myself and trust this process. Whatever happens, it doesn't matter. Like I get caught up in everything and it doesn't matter. And like I'm deluded by my thoughts and it just doesn't matter because it's just gonna be crashed again, the delusion. As it's like and it doesn't even matter if I fully feel everything that's coming up right now because it just I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah,
It doesn't matter if I run away, if I'm unconscious, if I'm
yeah, yeah. You're just letting things be, just letting it be. Yeah, yeah,
thank you.
yeah. Thanks, Jonas. Yeah, thank you. Mhm. So maybe go
Yeah,
to
I'm done.
Noah.
Thank you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Noah.
Yes, now I'm unmuted. Hi, Dan.
Hello.
Thank you, Jonas. That was awesome. And it gives me courage as well, which I need now. So yesterday in the diet, I felt like I'm done living. Like I feel like 800 years old, and it's like I had this experience enough. Like it feels like my soul is like pulling me out and like giving me notice, and I'm like, fine. I yeah, like I'm done. I'm done with life. That's how it felt, and some nostalgia and lots of feelings to that. And today in the morning in the meditation, I was so yesterday, like I've been crying, and a trauma came up yesterday that I like forgot about, and so on. And so like also like feeling all this suffering that has been as well as like the big eyes, and like, wow, this reality is really interesting. Like, so lots of different things. And I was sitting meditating this morning, so not now, and I came to like, okay, so like the most beneficial thing now is to just focus on awareness. So awareness was just like on awareness, and it was shifting. Like it's not so easy to keep that focus, but I kept with it, and it became uninterrupted effortlessly. And then in that, some formations came in, but they like burned up in that. And I was amazed at like it's effortless awareness just on awareness. And in that, when it was, because it was shifting a bit, but it was still uninterrupted, I like there was room for nothing else. There was not room for anything else when that focus was complete. Awareness on awareness. And so yeah, there was not room for anything. And when I mean anything else, like if I was put concepts on it, felt like there was not room for the skandhas at the moments when it was fully complete, which it was not all the time, but it felt like it was burning formations that came in. So it felt like a very beneficial point of focus. Is not the good word for it, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Try to replicate this meditation, but now I had to really like force it, so I could not keep it. But in the morning, it was just uninterrupted.
Yeah, the forcing doesn't work.
No. Not really.
Yeah, it's an interesting progression. Like to me, that single pointedness is that's one of the jhana states where it's like finally, the distractions of the mind, it's like that mud of the pond has settled, and there's just like this clarity and this focus, and it just happens. It really, like, we can't, it is like that analogy where you're in the middle of the pond, so any movement, anything you do just stirs up more. So how does it come to stillness? And it just happens. It's just like, these beautiful moments where that single pointedness comes. But it's in those moments then that we the self structure, the energy, everything becomes very able to circulate and do its thing. And I think it is very beneficial, when we come to those states. It is on that part of the path that is a path, the time-bound part where there's something evolving and developing here. It's part of that development process.
Yeah. And now, fuck, this is really not easy for me. Like, so I want to share something that I really don't want to share at the same time, but I think that's why I need to share it. So I had an experience watching the movie that you showed, like getting that full bloom Like you say, like it's pretty uncommon, like getting that full bloom. And a realization came to me like, well, that is going to happen to me. And I started crying because like recognizing like I actually fully believe that to be true, that it's going to happen to me in this body. And I started crying because I could not like escape from the truth of it. And then I like came back a bit and sat, and then it came again when my thought went in that direction. It's like I could see that as a truth in space, as a like a vertical formation, and like not coming from mind and thoughts. Like it came from that vertical another place, and like. And I start crying again because it's like I can't put. It's a very specific feeling, something out towards the direction of awe, like a very humbling awe thing. It's not right, but in that direction.
Yeah.
And a third time, the thought came, and realizing when the thought comes, and like the ego is like thinking about this, realizing that I fully believe it to be true and to be an opportunity, and it is the opportunity that I am pursuing. And when I like see that there is no doubt that that is going to unfold, recognizing that like I believe it fully, that makes me like really crying, like like a part of me wants you to like say no, it's not true, like it's your ego. Part of me wants to like get out of it, and part of me, this is what I'm longing for, like completely without any objection whatsoever. So it's this stirs up a lot of and the thing is like it's an experience I had, but it's an experience that sticks. Like it can't be unseen, the gravity of how I experienced it.
Beautiful. Wow. Wow. Like to me, that bloom, the feeling of that is not separate from the bloom as well. That feeling of it, it's all, yeah, that's,
And that's why I want to share it to because I see that, as you say it,
yeah,
to
yeah,
make it real also, what it's
yeah.
giving.
Yeah, it makes what comes up for me is in the great way, it says it talks about becoming one with the trusting mind, and to me, when we don't have a doubt, then whatever that divine is can fill us. It's when the doubting mind has dropped away, then the bloom is now, it's every moment. Yeah.
That is so beautiful because this meditation, when I was fully aware of awareness, what came just before that was, wow, I fully trust the moment, and I'm just relaxing and like feel so safe just being in the moment. Like I fully trust the moment of all of the universe. So that was actually experience, yes, in that meditation, as you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. It's such a paradox how, it seems that, there's this unfolding and yet everything is here now. Yeah, it really is amazing. Mhm. Yeah. Thank you, Noah. Yeah.
Moon.
Hi, Dan.
Hello.
Yes, my question is, I think it's Tuesday night during the dyad. It's like I had this amazing realization that, I'm me and I've always been me. I've always been free, and, there's a lot of other stuff. But I noticed that since then, it's like there was a buildup of energy, and it's like right around the neck, going up to the top of the head. And last night, it lasted into Wednesday, even though the mind came in and was just going. But last night, I noticed that every time I was given the dyad as like the it became a strong pulse and it just hurted so much. I could not concentrate. I couldn't go deep to, connect with the real me and experience myself. So what I would like to know, what can I do when that happens? Because I was here in January as well, and I shifted, and it lasted for like 3.5 days. It was the most amazing thing. I literally felt like I was in heaven for those 3 days. And it was the same thing that happened, the buildup of head energy in the shoulders and head area. And even now, like I notice, because I even noticed that it's around this time, it starts to get stronger. And then by the evening, it gets really, really bad. It's just yesterday, it was so bad. It felt like my ears were filling up and were about to burst. And that's how bad it got. And even now, it's like I notice like the more present I am, that's when I feel it, because I can actually feel the energy flowing up my back. But for some reason, up here and at the very top of my head, it is so much stronger and it's painful. It's hard to meditate when it's happening. It's hard to focus and everything. And
So,
it's like,
so the,
like
yeah, so there's actual pain at the top of the head?
yeah, like
Yeah.
pain from, but I notice like it only happens when I'm becoming really present. Like the mind is quiet and I'm just taking in everything. Everything is louder and you know.
Yeah, and is there a pressure in the head as well?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is like that's what I'm saying. It was a pressure where it built up, like my ears were like, kind of like if your ears are filling up with water and you just feel that pressure building up, going out. And that's what I
Yeah.
felt. And it
Yeah.
just getting so much stronger. It was just painful. And it
Yeah.
really was happening the time I received the diet. And the
Yeah.
night before, every time they gave me the imperative, I would experience that same realization. But last night, because of the pain, it's like it couldn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, so sometimes when the energy is rising, yeah, there can be all different things happening. But if there's a pressure building up and pain, yeah, there's sometimes like when the when the energy moves from the third eye to the crown, that's where we're moving from this sense of me, in the I thought to the eyeless eye, or we're opening up to no longer my will, but divine will as the energy moves to the crown, and sometimes yeah, and
That's
sometimes
what it is around here, but it's just more, it's stronger here. I feel it in
yeah,
here. And
yeah,
just strong right at the
yeah.
top.
And so when that is happening, is there fear or anything, or what's happening in the mind at that point?
Um, that's what I'm saying. I'm really present. I'm not really having
Yeah,
much
yeah,
thought.
yeah, yeah,
And sometimes I can feel the mind like it's trying to come in and I'm just like watching it.
yeah.
And sometimes it comes in and then the pain lessens and goes away. But then, I'm
Yeah.
back.
So what I would say, like I'm not sure, like I don't want to say like as if I totally know what's going on, but what I kind of sense is that because you've had those 3 days, 3.5 days, you said, of being sort of in presence in the state. It's very hard to not want that back, exactly like that, but the one who experienced that is here right now. Awareness is here right now. So we have to, whatever that experience was, no matter how beautiful, we have to forget it. We have to forget the memory of it, because the mind will always try to recreate it in some ways. But life is always giving us something new. So
I've
yes.
had like after that occurred in January,
Mhm.
throughout the months, I've had kind of similar, but not the same.
Yeah, yeah, good. And so who, so the you that you said you recognize the you know, that had always been there. You know, is that you here in this moment?
No, no.
It's not. So
I don't know.
awareness,
I
it's
mean, it's
there's
always there, but
yeah.
the mind, it's like it's in the mind that it is always there.
So
I'm always there, but it's
so
like I'm not feeling that.
so when you check for awareness, it's not here right now.
No, it's here. It's
Yeah.
just I guess the mind is, I guess, the one that's in the forefront trying to
Yeah.
suppress it and run things and
Yeah. Yeah. So if you can just sort of let that mind be as it is, but just recognize the awareness that is here. Yeah. And it's you don't have to search, you know, that mind doesn't have to search for it. It's actually in the, you know, recognizing that you're not that mind, that you know, you recognize what's here in this moment. And that's it. And then whatever unfolds from there is, you know, life will move through, but it's the unhooking in, you know, I sense there's a part of the mind that wants a state. You know, it's like it wants, because I know what those states are like. They're incredible, you know, and it's hard to not want those states.
bliss.
Yeah, it's bliss. It's like for the self, you know, for the peak experiences, that it doesn't get any better. It's beautiful. But you know, that mind that wants to recreate that, now we have to unhook from that mind and just, you know, recognize the truth of, you know, the awareness that is, you know, it experiences every part of that continuum, you know, from the bliss on one end to the, you know, total identification on the other end. And somehow, you know, with equanimity, we can allow all of that, you know, and just abide as that awareness.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ines.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. My internet connection is a little bit unstable too. So, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a very interesting day. Yesterday, I skipped the diets. I couldn't participate. So I'm struggling also a little bit with toothache already through the entire retreat, but it gets disturbing and then less disturbing. This is not the main point, but yesterday it was really intense. So when we had the meditation during the day, I was thinking to skip it. And I have these telepathic communications with my guru sometimes, and I was like, okay, what should I do now with this toothache? And was more expecting some response, take a break, skip the meditation, but the answer I got was Vipassana body scan. So yeah, so I decided then to do it in bed because I do in the sitting position always, and was trying to do, but it didn't work for the first few minutes. And then I simply said, if you want to do me the body scan, then you have to do it for me. And the technique did itself for 1.5 hours. This was absolutely amazing. I actually didn't do anything. I was just in bed and the process went on.
Amazing.
And yeah, it was really amazing. Yeah, it was the first time that I experienced this, because when you guided us that time, one day,
Yeah.
Was really the day meditation when my mind was so hyperactive that I actually couldn't experience it. So this was really, really beautiful yesterday. And then in the evening, when we had this teaching before the diets, I suddenly fell into a trauma response state. So I was trying to follow the conversations, but the sounds were completely distorted, or I didn't hear them. I just saw pictures and I became completely absent. It's like in a trauma response when you go into robot state and you just unplug everything. There were no emotions, no memories, nothing. I was just completely absent. So the only thing actually that happened in this half an hour when we had these teachings before diets was the picture of my guru flashing before my eyes. And I heard him say, "You are purifying now." So I couldn't do the diets yesterday. So I went to bed and was in this completely disconnected, absent state for about 1 hour. And then I was vomiting. I had to go to toilet and was hugging the toilet around half an hour. And something came out. I don't have a single clue what it was. Something came out because the whole film is missing. No memories, no emotions, nothing. But it was really a relief then when it was over. So yeah, I went then to Yoga Nidra and finished the day.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah. And how do you feel now?
I feel much better if I may have preferences.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, toothache is still here because the first signs were already a few days before the retreat, but I can handle it somehow. But yeah, I feel lighter today. Feel
Yeah.
lighter.
Yeah.
And when I was in this totally disconnected and absent state and I couldn't hear the voices, I also thought about other participants that it would be probably unfair to go into diets and not to participate fully. And actually, I would have to go to toilet and break the diet if I would decide to participate. So it was a hard decision, but it looks like that the energy went into this direction. And yeah, I just wanted to share this.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a very deep, like an opportunity to really do a deep, purification. Yeah. One thing I'll share a little story that's coming up for me. So at one time, there was somebody at the center. Actually, he's here. I don't know if he's here right in this moment, but when he hears this story, he'll know who it is. But he was at a retreat at the center here, and we were doing the body scan and all of that, and so he was getting really good at not reacting to his pain and all of that, just being equanimous. And then right after the retreat, he I think he was flying home on the plane, and this pain started to come up in the body. And so he started, just kind of meditating and not being attached to it. And the pain was getting more and more and more. And so he was becoming more and more equanimous and everything. And then eventually the pain got so bad, he actually went to the hospital. and it turned out he was having an appendix attack.
Mhm.
And the doctor was like, how the heck did you not come to the hospital? Like we waited so long, like you could almost die from this. So he was just dissolving the pain, but it was actually the body, the intelligence of the body saying, there's something
Yeah.
to pay attention here. So it's beautiful, to use it as an exercise, to purification, but also sometimes it's like, the simple solution is to go to the dentist as well. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so
Probably he will have to do his job, yeah.
yeah, so there's a balance for sure. But yeah, but I appreciate you sharing that. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
These both retreats are amazing. I experienced them different, first one and this one, but I'm getting from this one exactly what I wanted, because already before this retreat, I was somehow getting into phase, okay, I got the experiences. I was also chasing after them, but what now? What now? So this wheel was already stopping a little bit. And your work is so much help for me, because when my path started to unfold, I actually felt like I was thrown somewhere where everybody else is speaking only Chinese. And yeah, so your movies and then these retreats, they resonate with me completely. It was actually also this communication with the guru that brought me to retreat, because it was a flash. Yeah, so thank you so much for everything, and to the participants. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Sukino, and I'm sorry if that's mispronounced.
No, that's pronounced right. Can you hear me okay?
You're breaking up a little
You should
bit
be able to hear it.
You're breaking up a little bit on my
Yeah,
end.
I'm sorry. It's my connection. Yeah, it's my connection here. Sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to say hello again to you, my beautiful friend. And I just want to say thank you for all this. I'm afraid I couldn't attend the first few days because, as I told you in my email, I was having those kidney stone pains. And what you just said about your friend with the appendicitis.
So you're breaking up right now.
Through my meditation to, yeah, even though every now and then I do need assistance with painkillers, but for the oh, right, okay, I'll just say cheerio. My connection's very bad, but I just want to say thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'll have to go. It's my connection.
Thank you. Yeah, the connection's pretty bad. Yeah, it's just
okay. I'll just enjoy the questions from other people.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, we'll connect another way sometime. Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay. I don't want to take my phone outside. All right. Tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow. I caught the word tomorrow. Okay. Yep.
Pamela.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. You are my hero. I just have to tell you this. I've been following you for a couple of years now. I've seen every one of your films probably 50 times. But here's my question. So the character, when it meditates or sleeps, it doesn't sleep. It travels. And there's so I hear these full dialogues, like people having like conversations. There's no people. I mean, how do I explain this in human? It's so tricky to try to explain this in human terms. Um, so there's full dialogues, like full conversations between various persons,
Yeah.
but yet there's no sleep any longer. Like it's
Hmm. Hmm.
what is that? It's just like the consciousness just travel. Like what is that? Time travel? Like what do you call? What do you label that as?
Yeah, so it sounds like so when you're going to sleep, like when you lie down in bed, um, do you is there a sense at any point that you disappear or
Yes,
yeah,
disappear. Yes, but no sleep. Like
right.
okay,
But so it's not like normal dreaming, but you're
no.
okay. And is there like a transition that you observe? Like
Okay,
as you
so
go from waking to that state.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, and there's no more like okay, so humans they sleep, okay? This is not there is no sleeping. It's just like the eyes close on the character,
Mhm.
but the consciousness just kind of roams around and like literally can hear full dialogue, just normal like for example, the one time I say I because we're all one in a store buying diapers for a child. I'm like, well, I don't have a child. Like, and I, but there's full awareness right there, like with that
Mhm. Hmm. Yeah,
and that.
that's mysterious. So there are these levels where, some teachers would call them astral levels,
Okay.
where it's like, we can literally experience all kinds of things, and there's all different kind of, I guess you could say, like levels of density of those levels as well. So like the lower astral are, it's almost like, black and white TV kind of, like very not a lot of detail, and then, there are ones as you go to different levels, it can get like super, super, almost hyper real, and I think there's just so many possibilities for what we can experience and on these different levels. So,
Well, right there, like you were saying, like it's like this is so that's more real than the external is at this point. Like the
mm,
external seems more not so real. Like it's
mhm,
but this traveling, whatever it's called,
mhm,
that's more real. Like awareness is now a young girl buying diapers. Then another time someone was getting their windows done in their car. I'm like, what is so it
yeah.
but there's an awareness is there witnessing these
Mhm.
various dialogues.
Yeah. So so I've gone through something similar on my own path, actually, and
Okay.
like sometimes some teachers call it night school, where you go into these different lives or different scenarios over and over, and to me, so I figured at one point what seemed to be happening for me was that, if I was put in a particular situation, it was an opportunity to be equanimous with it. So if I found myself in, sometimes they would be insane situations. Like I'd be in a bunker in World War I, getting blown up and stuff like that. And it was crazy. And of course it was stressful as well. It was like, why do I have to experience this? But the exercise, what seemed to be happening was that there was an opportunity to be equanimous in that situation, and to not be identified with whatever character that were thrown in. So I don't really, to me, that's how I sort of made sense of it with the mind. I felt like it was almost like a training exercise or something like that. So I don't know, we're given sometimes these interesting things on our
Yeah,
path, and
it's like I lived through all these various different like we live the experience, and so literally, and I'm saying I meaning the real I traveling all through the like this girl and that guy and it like all at the same time.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's
yeah, that's
you're so, I
yeah,
so love you guys. I so love you all so much. It's ridiculous.
yeah.
You're gonna make
No,
me cry.
I appreciate you sharing that. I think it's, this is something interesting that comes, sometimes on the path, and I just take it as an opportunity, to really, really disidentify, a sense of self from it, and just have the experience. Yeah.
You are such a gift, and tell Lil that last night that the recording was just amazing. I listened to it like 3 times. It was just phenomenal. You
Amazing.
guys are such a gift.
Mm,
So thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Are you wanting to answer one last question or wrap it up and answer that one tonight?
I think I better wrap it up because I have to connect with Chad and we're going to do a little tech test in preparation for his thing. So yeah, why don't we'll take that one in the evening tonight.
Sounds great.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Okay, we'll see you at I think at 2:30 is when Chad is. Yes. So we'll see you then. Okay. Thank you.